Thank you for joining us here at One Kingdom Worldwide as we share the greatest love story ever told in support of the God-led life. Welcome to Section 1, Essential Scriptural Context that has been lost down through the ages. So what is step 1? Be a Talmid, not a disciple. It makes all the difference. Become more and more like Jesus. So what do we need to know about Jesus? We said previously, he said, I only say and do what the Father gives me to say and do. What about our relationships with others? Well, he also said, I see what the Father is doing, and I do likewise. Okay, from the beginning in the Garden of Eden, God gave Adam and Eve information and then let them choose. Accept, reject, trust, don't trust. Listen to the enemy, don't listen to the enemy. God is a choice giver. God is an information supplier, an information provider. He's spent a long time in that Old Testament helping us to see all of the things not to do, all the ways not to live. And then he sent Jesus. And he made it real simple for us. So, step 1, be in these attitudes, the attitudes of Jesus. Having done that, our proclivity, our propensity, our likelihood is that we'll produce results that bring fruit of the Spirit. So the first one, I only say and do what the Father gives me to say and do, is about relationship with Him. The second one is not so much about relationship with Him as it is with others. What did God do in Eden? He gave him the information. So what do we do with others we have relationship with? We give them information. God did not control us in the Garden of Eden. God has never tried to control us, ever. God says you can do anything you want. You can become anything you want to become. I'll allow it. If you want separation from me, I accept it. Keep in mind, there's a finite time on this earth to make a decision about that. And whatever decision you've made come the end of your life or Jesus' return, you'll have that for eternity. Acceptor or rejector. Eternity with Him, eternity separated from Him. Become one who's trying to control people, and you're rejecting God. Become one who's sharing information with people, and you're building trust, and you're building relationship, and you're building opportunity to share with others the love that God first showed us in Eden. The opportunity to not eat off of that tree. The opportunity, therefore, to say, I respect you. I know what you don't want me to do. You've given me eternity with you if I'll accept it. I accept it. Therefore, out of respect and reverence, not fear, out of recognition of the information you've shared, I'm not going to eat off of that tree. In our modern day, there's things that I won't do. To the best of my ability, these are things I'm not going to do because they're all about manipulate to control. They're all about strategies to get people to do what I want them to do. So the more and more I become a Talmid of Jesus, the more and more I walk in these attitudes, the more and more this is what I produce. I'm still going to run into these people, aren't I? Whether they're politicians in politics or politicians in business or walking around in life trying to get their way to control us. We're still going to run into them. We're all on this earth amongst each other, coming to grips and decision about whether to accept him or reject him. So now, what do we do when we run into a rejector? We can have crazy, crazy bad rejectors, and we can have rejectors that are just more subtle about it, that are always trying to maneuver, very subtle manipulate to control strategies. There's all kinds of them. Well, number one, we have to remember that once they were small, once they were innocent, once they were just brand new children of the Most High God, and they got into the terrible twos and they learned all of these things that they learned about how to try to control people with coercion, and then they had good parents, they didn't have good parents, and they learned from their parents. And then they went to school and they learned things there. See, I call all of these things tools in our tool belt. We learn methodologies to get what we want. And when we're walking around learning from other people that are teaching us how to manipulate to control, we put those tools in our tool belt when we were young. And then somewhere along the way, the enemy took away our innocence. Something happened in our lives. Maybe many things happened in our lives. Maybe it started at a very young age. Maybe it didn't happen until we were a teenager. But what always happens is that the enemy arrives to steal away our innocence and to get us to believe what he tried to tell us from the beginning, that God's not trustworthy. He can't be good to allow these things to happen to people. And look what happened to you. We're tempted to become rejectors. We're tempted to try to do what we've learned. We're tempted to try to control other people. We're tempted. And we ask God to teach us not to enter into temptation, that we would not be the ones causing evil on earth. And so deliver us, O God, from evil, but also don't make us the evil itself. When we try to control people, when we break trust, I think most people have found their way into a depth of love relationship with somebody, and along the way found that they knocked out that first basic building block of trust by doing some foolish thing that took away trust, therefore took away depth of love and intimacy, transparency. And we find ourselves alone and hidden, and then alone and hidden. Seemingly we have no other way to operate, but as the world operates, so must we operate. And so when that's going on in our lives, we have a decision to make, because we've made an assessment. We've made an assessment of somebody, something that they've done to us, or something we did to somebody else. But let's just look at what's happening around us and the assessment that we make that says, you're just trying to manipulate me. Now, I'm a Talmid. I'm trying to produce fruit, and I can't trust you. Now what do I do? See you next episode.